Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my celebrated patron, my distinguished guest. Today, I will be presented to you a talk which will open up your mind, which will tell you the idea that is connected deep within yourself and how it is engaging and how it will help you to find yourself within this 21st century that we live in. So, before we start, the name given is Adam Hakimi bin Muhammad Azhar, and I will be telling you today a secret that is connected deep within you. So, what is the topic? Let me share a secret with you first. The topic that I will be sharing with you today is deeply related to education. So, it's not a secret, but more on the idea of advancing yourself and educating yourself. Because education is something that is deeply connected within the foundation of a society. Without education, we as a society will fail, will tremble, and will crumble into dust. So, what am I talking about? I am talking about education, right? So, where is this idea connected to technology, you might say? So, technology derived from a Greek word which is techno and logi, which mean and translated into manners, skill, or arts. So, the words arts in this context within the 21st century that we are living today is a widely translated aspect of life. So, it can be within education. For instance, let's say you are in school, you are learning art. So we connected to the idea of translation of the Greek word, which is technology. So art is technology. So in this context, we can say everything is technology. Yeah. My celebrated patron, what is my speech today? You might ask again. My speech today is how the education policy, the digital education policy, shape the nation, the youth, and the development of school, teachers, and students in our country. Let us begin. First, let me quote something that is deeply helped me to become a better person. A quote by Josh Course that stated, "It is not technology that help teachers to become better. It's teachers that help technology becomes better." So what is this quote reflect us about? So a technology can be advanced, so advanced, but if the teachers cannot connect it to the technology, then we cannot advance as a society. We as a society need teachers that is well adapted to the concept of technology. Technology itself cannot function on its own as it is created by a person, by a manufacturer, by a teachers. So, a teachers that understand technology is a great teachers. And where do you find a great teacher? In a great nation. So how we shape a great nation? How do we shape a great nation? We must have a policy. A policy is something that help us to shape a nation and help us to connect everyone together within a rule, within a bound, and within a context that is widespread among people in the nation, in the state, and in a society or a community that is close to us. So let's connect this to school. In school, there are students, which we can say students from multiple background, from multiple places in the state, in the community. So there are students that is well adapted to technology, which have a technological mastery and are so delved into technology that they surpass their own teacher in that manners. But there are also students that doesn't have access to technology, for instance, in rural areas. So how do we connect all of this? The digital education policy, which had been launched in 2023 by our Minister of Education, Dr. Farina Siddiq, stated that everyone must work on technology and must adapt to technology so that we can come together. So these boundaries is called this digital boundary is called social boundaries. because everyone is different based on their background. So let's say in a rural village area, we cannot adapt to the concept of technology as we did in a school that it is in urban areas. It is different. So how do we manage this? First of all, there is an effort which was implemented back in 2022, which is the implementation of online learning. This implementation started all the way back in COVID, but this really changed the dynamic of the whole education system in Malaysia. For instance, we no longer have UPSR, we no longer have PT3. That's the bad effect. But let's take a look at the good effect of the implementation of online learning. Let's say now everyone can have access to information within their smartphone. They just need to search what they want to search for. Let's say if I want to learn about Math Chapter 3, Form 4, Form 5, I can just type in the information and I can learn about it. About science, English, arts, history and so on. Just at the tip of our finger. Not only that, the technological advancement in the nation also perplexed into the advancement of artificial intelligence. Nowadays, we can say that most of the occupation or learning skill is based on AI, which is artificial intelligence. This is a major step that is emphasized in the digital education policy also. All the teachers nowadays must learn the advancement of artificial intelligence so that they can use it within the context of the classroom, so that we can improve the understanding of student and eliminate the social boundaries that I just mentioned. So why is this important to us? Why is eliminating the social boundaries is so important? First of all, education is important for all of us. Everyone need education to advance. Everyone need education to become better, and everyone need education to lead them to become a better person. It is not you who push yourself. It is education that help you to push yourself. Next, let's mention what is the other effort that was launched within the policy. The first one, the major changes in learning structure. Nowadays, there are many efforts that contribute to student development in higher education, primary education, and secondary education. Let's first mention primary education. What does technology evolve into in primary education? So in primary education, teachers nowadays can play song by implementing song or learning structure that based on technological aspect. For instance, teachers can play ABC song, counting song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to help student. And by helping student in this context, we are implementing technology. Technology is important because the student that is 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old already have access to technology. And like I stated earlier, they are more advanced in this technology. So how do we attract them? By using technology. By using technology, we can attract this primary level student. Nowadays, almost every kid that we encounter in our nation mostly have a smartphone. That is very worrying, but we can change that. We can help to change that by implementing the technology in our education system. So that is one of the effort in primary student level. Next, in higher secondary, because nowadays there is no longer PT3 and there is no longer UPSR in primary level, but primary level they can learn by adapting gadget like I just stated. In secondary, based on my own experience, when I was 15, I have no access to trial paper, to spot question. But nowadays, for the last 5 years, we can say that everywhere we go through the website in the aspect of examination, we can see that there is at least 2 or 3 spot question that is related to PT3 examination or Form 3 final assessment, which is quite helpful for those who are in lower secondary. So this technological aspect is important because if you want to learn and you want to master a syllabus just within a short span of time, in the span of 3 years, because Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, you can use this as your advantages. So for higher secondary, this is the fun part. You see, technological aspect not only focuses on artificial intelligence, but also focuses on the usage of chatbot. If you are familiar with what I'm saying, I know, because nowadays almost everyone know about chatbot. For instance, the use of ChatGPT, the use of Perplexity, the use of Google Bard that assists you within multiple aspects of your work. You can improve your own skill, you can hone your skill, you can enhance your skill, and you can almost ask everything or anything regarding information in the chatbot. So nowadays, students in higher secondary, Form 4, Form 5, no longer need to access students like those who are in lower form, because by using chatbot, but chatbot also have its own disadvantages, but we're gonna dive into that later. First, let's talk about the advantages of that to higher secondary student. So higher secondary student can benefit from this. Of course, my distinguished guests, my beloved guests and ladies and gentlemen, because the use of chatbot nowadays really helps students in Form 4 and Form 5 to improve their vocabulary and grammar learning, because they no longer rely on traditional methods. For instance, opening book and searching for the right structural way to learn about vocabulary, syllabus or grammar. Nowadays, they just open something that is related to online learning or something that is deeply close to summarizing the whole point. So what application or what system that help you to summarize the whole point or easen up your job? ChatGPT, chatbot. So the student must be very responsible in using this. As a great saying say, with great responsibility, with great power come great responsibility. Moving on. Now we're gonna talk about the importance of changes in digital education toward teachers. So how do we improve teachers in this context? So the digital education policy highlighted that every teachers in this nation, Malaysia, must have the skill to access digital aspect of learning by mastering digital literacy and digital understanding of concept, which is, first of all, teachers must change their way of teaching or mix their way of teaching by implementing technology. Just a little bit of technology is okay for teachers to start to learn. As we all know, not only students need to learn, teachers also need to learn to advance themselves as a society. My beloved guests. So, my beloved guests, moving on. How does teacher can learn from this? So, moving on, we learn that we have a format of teaching, which is in the digital education policy highlighted that every teachers must understand the usage of a learning material that connected to internet. For instance, Google Classroom and Google the basic one like Google Form and Google Sheet that can attract student attention. So teachers can use quizzes, can use Google Form to, or even Padlet to help students to be more engaged within the classroom. We all learn about digital mind mapping, digital exercise, and digital literacy in this context. So, moving on. What is the problem that teacher faces nowadays? The major problem that teacher face in this context is that the digital understanding is not there. Teacher weren't able to access information or understand the use of technological advancement nowadays. Basically because of the fact that it is too modern, or the teacher is not well capable enough in learning. So what does the digital education policy contribute to this? We have teacher learning program or teacher developmental program, which the government, the Ministry of Education, send a group of educator that will help teacher to understand the technological advancement. For instance, the teacher will be in a workshop or will be in a classroom, and they will learn how to use the digital input such as Canva, Padlet, and Google Slides, so that they were able to master that and help the student to progress in their learning. There is a famous saying by Thomas Fuder that state technology is a gift from God, a great gift from God that help people to advance, that help people to learn, and help people to engage. So, moving on. How does one engage with technology, you might ask? Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at your smartphone. Do you have Facebook? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Twitter? Do you have WhatsApp? All of this application is something that is connected to the idea of engaging with people. You talk to people every day. You connect with people every day, and you are able to engage in a conversation with people every day. So, what does this contribute to education? You can share an information that is connected to education within this application. You can text your son, nephew, cousin who are still in school, who are still in primary, secondary, higher level institution. You can send to them any input that is related to education. For instance, a video, a short YouTube video, a TikTok video related to education and how they can learn. Based on my experience, I learn better using TikTok than using my classic note, because in TikTok, most of the video there is less than 60 seconds. So they compact all of the information you need into a very short video. So your learning process can be much easier. You can just scroll the video and understand the video, and it will be up here and will help you to learn better. So, for instance, you have an upcoming exam, or your student will have an upcoming exam. You are a teacher, and you want to help your student to memorize a chapter or a subtopic, and they're struggling. So how can you help them to understand this subtopic just within a second? Within a minute or two. So you create a short TikTok video, you compact all of the information you needed, and then you add some music, you add some interesting pictures or interesting slide in there, and you send it to them. I am 85% sure most of them will remember that video, and most of them will ace in their exam because of that video. This is a major factor because the human attention for student that in primary level is 30 minutes, and for lower secondary is 1 hour, and higher up to 2 hours and above. So once you have that information compacted in one video, this will help them to learn things that they learn in 25 minutes, in 30 minutes, just in 1 minute. But the video must be interesting and engaging for them. It has that interactive and attractive input in that video so that they can be engaged to remember and to specify what they are learning. So, moving on, therefore, by using technology as a teacher, not only we improve our student, we improve ourselves, because technology help teachers to understand the importance of managing information in a short manner and in a manner that is well constructed. Benjamin Franklin once stated, teach me and I will learn. Show me and I will do. Include me and I will remember forever. Wow, what an amazing quote. What can we learn from this quote, and how can we tie this to the educational policy that I have stated? My beloved patron and my beloved guest. How do teachers or even educators can help students to implement this technological aspect within their learning environment? So, well, what can we do? First, implementing a structural way that can help a school to improve their technological awareness. As an example, we can do a technology campaign, for instance, technology day in school, or even a technology week, technology month, that helps students to understand. We can invite any IT professionals or even people that can help students in the school, mostly in rural area, so that they are able to connect and able to understand more about the importance of technology in education. Contributing more on the aspect of education is important, but we also need to emphasize the danger that we might face while implementing this. One of the major concern within the digital education policy that most people often look by and most teachers were not paying attention to is that the concept of honesty. This dishonesty mostly occurs in education level that is not in lower education, more on the higher education. For instance, in university, institution, and college. Why I state this, ladies and gentlemen, my beloved guests, my distinguished patrons. On the higher education institution, we can see that the problem of using AI in tasks or assignment is immaculate. Students and people who have access to AI, most of the time is not honest with themselves. The lecturer and educator will assess them based on their writing, for instance. But most of the writing, most of the content that is produced is not from themselves, but from AI, from artificial intelligence. So that is a great danger to our education institution, because it is not produced by the student, but by the bot or by an AI. How do we solve this? How do we address this situation, this worrying concern? One of the major steps that was taken is that higher education institutions have implemented an AI detection software or application that can detect the use of artificial intelligence, chatbot, um, usage of information stealing, and much more, so that the problem of plagiarism is managed well. Let's say if someone were to steal an assignment from someone, the AI or the detection system can detect that and can highlight where the key point that was stolen, and this really helped the dishonesty problem among students, majorly and mostly on higher education institution. Other problem, for instance, on the use of AI is that we can say the false information is there, but not most of the time. But we must understand, and we as a society must understand that mistake exists. Everyone make mistake. Everyone have their own failure. Everyone have their own flaw, because we're not perfect. And the people who design this chatbot, this artificial intelligence, are also not perfect. So the system itself, the machine itself, is not perfect. So it might make a mistake. This mistake can occurs when an information that is processed is not that latest. Based on a study that was conducted from Ohio University, stated that the information that was provided by ChatGPT or artificial intelligence mostly tied up to the year 2022 only, and most of the information that were provided higher than the year that I have stated is most of the time not correct, and most of the time is not very well organized. So this create a problem in the education system in our nation, which is the spread of false information, which is very dangerous to nation, society, and also our target to become a better nation. Because the widespread of false information can not only divide us, it can destroy us, and it also can neglect us from becoming a better nation as a whole. Moving on, the next problem that occurs is, like I say, the problem of digital divide. Even though all of the efforts were taken, all of the steps that we ensure that we can use to implement all of this technology to a great extent in our nation, the digital divide is there. It will always be there, because for every child that has access to internet, phone, gadgets, and technology, there will always be a child that are left to use the traditional methods, the taboo methods, and the methods that are no longer relevant and no longer useful in this 21st century. So the problem of digital divide is one of the major problems that we may face nowadays as a nation, and the digital education policy highlighted that a budget was structured around, if I'm not mistaken, my distinguished guest, my beloved patron and ladies and gentlemen, around 2 million, if I'm not mistaken. So this budget will allow our nation to help rural area in Sabah, in Sarawak, and also some in Kelantan, some in Kedah, Perlis, and many developing state in our country. So the digital divide, we will stand together in this manner, and we will advocate the problem. So moving on. Next, Mm, we have highlighted the danger and the possible challenges. So, how do we face this danger to help ourselves and help the nation to become better? Let's say that if you were to put in a place where technology is all around you, but you did not understand anything. You do not understand anything, or you cannot comprehend this technological advancement around you. How do you become? How do you become self-aware that you need to learn? The need to learn will come when you are when you are adapting strategy that will help you to engage in this technology. So how do you attract yourself, and how do we attract the student, the teachers, and so on? The main problem is the student. The student, they will be attracted to this kind of technology, to the use of technology in school. Like we learn that our prime minister have the idea that now student can bring a phone to school. It is, for me, it is a good step that was taken, because now students have the access to information, but it will come with a price, a great price, because student will have, let's say, a ticking time bomb in their hand. Not only a ticking time bomb, but a double-edged sword. They can benefit from this greatly and efficiently, but they can also harm themselves if they are not guided by the teacher effectively. So, how do we attract this idea, and how do we guide the student? First, let's highlight the importance of guiding them. The technology mostly nowadays is based on skills, is based on understanding. So in order for students to learn, they must first understand. So they must understand why they are bringing phone and why they are using technology, to benefit from it and to learn from it, to push themselves in a learning manners that is contributing to themselves, their school, and the society, and also the nation. The student must also know that with that kind of responsibility for them, they must not neglect that responsibility, and they must follow their teacher's guideline. So let's say a student does not follow the orders and use his phone to play games, to focus more on the things that are not connected with education. What can teachers do? Teachers can take away their phone. I think that is the great example of how we can address this problem. The major one, like I say, is by taking their phone. But there are also other initiatives. There are also other initiatives such as giving them tests online, giving them a question online so that they can learn. By making mistake, they can learn. And by learning on time, by learning on the mistake that they were made, they can improve themselves. Let's say if that student are in history class and he made a mistake by playing game in that class, the teachers can give him a test, a punishment, a 20 question about history, and he can learn. If he do not answer the test, the teachers will take away his phone, so he can learn from this. He will no longer play his phone while the teacher is contributing knowledge to him. He will focus more on the lecture. So that is one of the steps that I might emphasize on if I were to become a teacher and my student did that problem. Now, based on what I have stated, all of the information that I have provided, we can say that technology is important in shaping teachers, developing teachers, helping students, creating an honest and good society that understand technology. We also highlighted the importance of using technology in rural areas, urban areas, and the danger that come with it, and also the implementation of the new in the new way of learning in school, such as bringing phone to school. We also highlighted some of the major steps that was taken by the Ministry of Education in the education policy, in the digital education policy, which highlighted things such as how teachers must understand digital literacy, their digital understanding of a learning concept in the 21st century learning, and so on. Lastly, this is the final point and my most important part of speech, which is why technology? Why not other thing? Why do we not focus on sport more in school? Why not we focus more on visiting places? Why not we focus more on the finance part, on the improving school in a more infrastructural way, not in the technological way? Why technology in the first place? Like I say, technology itself is an art. The word itself comes from the word art in Greek word. So by using technology, we can manage all of this within the nation, in school, and so on. Why am I saying this? Because in school, there will always be technology. In a society, there will always be a technology. Everywhere you go, even by watching this video, you are using technology. Ladies and gentlemen, as I stand before you today, I can say that all of you must learn to use technology, to adapt to technology, and to really understand technology. Why? Because technology is important, and every one of you must really understand the concept of that. Like I say, why do we need to focus on technology? Technology is everything, because you need technology to manage your finance. You need a technology to visit school, to improve your school, your infrastructure, your organization or your school organization, and that structural organization based on technology itself. You need someone that are able to control student. How do you find that? You find someone that is good in technology, because now in all of the education level, they use technology. Primary, secondary, higher education, like I stated, all of that, they use technology. So from that, they came to school and they implemented technology in their life. And finally, there is a saying that goes, technology help people, but people learn from technology to destroy themselves sometimes. So what is this saying emphasize on? Is that even though technology help people and it improve people as a whole, it sometimes destroy them, and it sometimes divide them. It neglect and it deprive away from the idea that we must stand together because of technology. So this is a major problem. This is a very major problem, because technology is not to divide us, but it is to unite us. And how do we unite together in implementing technology? As a nation now, we can see that by the digital education policy, we are using the literacy of technology to unite together in an education level that improves student, society, and people. That is a great step toward a major improvement in our nation. Next, we can use any other policy that is related to technology to become more as a developing nation and how we develop ourselves to become a better man, a better human, and people that are able to give meaning to themselves, because you reflect on yourself. You are the one that gave meaning to yourself. You are the one that gave meaning to what you find importance, to your happiness, to the people around you, to the places, to the idea, to the overall view of world. That is how you define yourself and how you give meaning towards something. So by giving meaning to technology, you are giving meaning to yourself, to your nation, and your overall view of the world. So give it a great meaning, give it a structural meaning, a meaning that is importance toward the developmental progress of the world, education, and so on. Give meaning to what you are doing and do it your best so that everyone can benefit from it. Because not only you are helping yourself, you are helping others. By all means, we must all stand together to learn about this digital education policy and how it helped us in a nation, in school, and how we give meaning to ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed my speech. And I'm so sorry for taking much of your time, as I understand the importance and my responsibility as a global citizen and the citizen of Malaysia to improve your understanding on technology and improve our education system. And as a future teacher, I bear the responsibility to help people to use technology in an ethical and structural way so that we can all benefit together from it. Lastly, and above all, thank you for standing today and listening to me. Thank you so much.